All right, I do believe we are live. What's happening, everyone in the chat? Can you hear me? Am I coming through okay? Just let me know in the chat. I'll reset the audio interface if we need to. Thanks for joining me, everyone. It's my birthday. We're going to make some dub techno. All right, cool deal. Can you guys just let me know if the audio is coming through clean? Sounds good. Thanks, everyone. All right. Hey, Michael. What's up, Wall? What's up, Lisa? What's up, Nils? All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Joe. It's going to be a super casual stream today. We're just going to make some birthday dub techno. You guys know I'm all about the dub. Um, I've got some gear out today, and we're going to try to put something together. Let's see here. Hey, what's happening? We got Ruse in the chat. Hey, Michael, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let me just grab a sip of coffee here, and we will get started today. I've picked out some specific pieces of gear that we're going to be using today. We're going to be using the Novation SL-MK3 MIDI controller and sequencer as the main sequencer today. We're going to be using the Roland TR-8S as our main drum machine today as well. Why isn't that stopping? Cool. And I've already got everything all connected up and MIDI'd up this morning, so we don't need to do like a whole bunch of setup and routing. We can go ahead and just start making some music. And what I'd like to do is go ahead and start by just laying down a 4-on-the-floor kick drum. I've already loaded a Roland 606 bass drum inside of the Roland TR-8S. And we can get that started today. We're going to do a relatively kind of an upbeat session today, not like a downbeat dragging kind of dub, but more of a happy, lively sort of upbeat dub. And let's see here. So fantastic. What I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and start a pattern here, and we're going to go ahead and just put this kick drum in on all 4 steps of that pattern. When I hit play, we should already begin to hear that kick drum come back. All right. That's about the level that we're going to start working with today. Hey, what's happening, Tapsy? What's happening, Joe? All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hopefully, it's going to be a super casual, fun session today. I've got just a couple of drum sounds already picked out in the Roland TR-8S, but for the most part, we're going to be creating everything from scratch today, like picking out some sounds in this box to use, as well as some other fun stuff. Let me go ahead and put a hi-hat in, sort of on the, actually, no, we'll do it that way, cool. No, actually, I think I wanna maybe, hold on here. I think I maybe want to keep the kick drum on its own track, and put the rest of these instruments on a separate track. Let's see here. Currently, I've got this going to what? This is, this would be going to, okay, cool. So we can reset that to any. Yeah, no worries. Okay, I'm going to want to set this to the TR-8S again as well then. So let's see here. Let me do that real quick. Whoops. Okay, TR-8S, and we'll give that a color. Cool, that's already different than the existing one, Den 1, and this is channel, what is this, 15, if I'm not mistaken. And that should give me access to the, yeah, cool, to all those sounds, including the kick drum. What I want to do is I just want to keep the kick drum on its own MIDI track today. That way I can use some of the probability features in the sequencer to make that a little bit more varied during this session. Let's go ahead and save at this time now that I've put another TR-8S here. So if I press play now, I should be able to, yeah, just sequence this one right in as well. Yeah, cool. I'm sorry, what? Okay, I appreciate that. I'm getting something from the wife here telling me that we got a low. Oh, I see what's happening. Hey, thanks, Tony. I really appreciate that. Um, Actually, what the deal is here we go. I really appreciate that. Um, this is a GoPro camera here that we're using for the talk cam, and I've got it just routed into the system. It's plugged into a battery on the side, so there's no battery inside this camera itself. And what I'm supposed to have done already is just turn that off already, so that there's no messages on the screen. I really appreciate you letting me know if there was like a low battery and the camera was going to die. That would have just saved the stream. Thank you very much, Tony. For those of you, Tony just messaged my wife behind the scenes and had her let me know that there was a low battery. Really appreciate that. That would have been like the worst birthday dub, right? For the stream to just go down. Thanks a lot, Tony. Cool, man. All right. So we've got just a kick drum and just a hi-hat here. The absolute, most basic elements of, creating a dub techno groove. And let's go ahead and add a clap to this. I've already got a clap in here that we can just sequence right in. I think I want to make that just a little bit quieter though. So let's see here. Shift and instrument. Yeah. Whoops. Maybe a tiny little bit louder. All right, cool. Now, let's see here. I've also got a rim shot already set up inside of the TR8S, and I've got it routed out of one of the external outputs here, and the rim shot is going directly into this microcosm pedal to give a little bit of extra effect on the sound. Let's see if I can figure that out. Where is that? There it is. Let's go ahead and put this in as well, shall we? So actually, before I do that, let me just play the rim shot real fast. It's actually, we're hearing it through a little bit of extra reverb, and, you'll hear some background effects from this microcosm in just a moment. But if I turn that pedal off, because we're getting it through this as well. This is a great time to mention that then. Okay, so the routing today, we're routing all of this gear into this super cheap entry level and easy to use mixer here from Arvomic. I'm not exactly sure if it's Arvomic or Arvomic or whatever. It's just a really cheap $99 mixer that I bought off of Amazon last month. I wanted to be able to have something out for these sessions where you can physically see like everything is plugged in to this mixer, and this is how we're routing everything. All of the inputs today are being used on this mixer. Let me backtrack a second. So I got this off of Amazon like a month or so ago. It's thinking that it probably would be way too good to be true. For $100, that it would probably be like really noisy and just total garbage. But it's not actually. I've been using it on these live streams for about the last 5 or 6 weeks, and I think it's a really awesome entry level mixer. It doesn't have USB. It's not gonna connect up to your computer. It's not an audio interface. It's just a really simple, easy to use mixer. And there's a one effect send in this mixer as well, so that we can route any of the channels to an external effect if we want to, and route that effect back into the mixer. For that today, I'm using the Eventide Black Hole pedal. So I've got kind of like a built-in reverb to the whole mix. Any track in the mix at all from any of these devices on the mixer itself, I can just turn up the send and have that be going to the Black Hole reverb. So for example, there we go. If I turn that off, now we're just hearing that rim shot completely dry. But for the most part, we're going to be hearing that rim shot today. There's some extra stuff coming from the hologram pedal. I don't know if you can hear that, over the stream. But that's just in the background to give a little bit of extra, I don't know, like texture to this jam today. Okay, cool. So just that one sound is coming out of an individual output of the TR8S. Again, so on the mixer itself, I've also got it routed a little bit to this extra reverb from the pedal, so we get quite a bit of space and texture on this particular rim shot sound. All right. Now I'm adjusting the mix on the hologram pedal so that that effect is tucked kind of just in the background. I want this to be really subtle because, let me pause here so that I'm not, actually let me check in with the chat. It's been a few minutes since I've done that. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I can't pronounce all of the names in the chat. Hey, citizen. All right, cool. Let's see here. Save, actually, and grab a quick sip of coffee. So one of the things that I really think is important about dub techno specifically is sort of textures and layers. A really common element in this, style of music is like vinyl noise or tape noise or just kind of noise in general as like a part of the whole acoustic space of the mix. I think a lot of that comes from like traditionally the old school dub techno would be, made with hardware and like lots of processors, and typically there would probably be some hum and some hiss coming through from that as well. Um, but it's really common to like try to dirty up the sound of dub techno and try to get it so that it's not super pristine and super clean sounding. And one of the ways that we do that is by adding vinyl noise so that it maybe sounds like it's coming from an older source, like a record perhaps, or something to that effect. And I've got an app here on the iPad, and this is just called My Noises. And I'm running this is an iPad Air 2, so it's still got the headphone output. So I've just got a jack coming out of the headphone output, and that's coming in to the Roland TR8S so that we can hear that sound. Now the app itself, again, this is called My Noises. It has all these presets in it for different types of like noise beds, for lack of a better term. For those who might have caught the Dub Techno versus Breaks live stream I did a couple of months ago, I believe we used like a rain preset on the My Noise app. So we've got like kind of rain coming, sort of evolving and moving around in the mix. But I did some searching, and they have a dust and scratches preset as well. It has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different sliders that we can use to, oh, did I just lose my camera control right at the beginning of the stream? That's a bummer. We have, this is OBS here, and it allows me to set, keys on the keyboard to switch back and forth between the cameras. And often, right as the stream starts, those keys just stop working, and then I need to do it manually with the mouse, which is kind of a pain, but that's, it is what it is. So on the My Noise app here, it's got all these different sliders, right? So we can adjust like the amount of needle noise, get it really filthy if we want, okay? We can adjust another type of needle noise, okay? We can adjust a level of scratches coming through. If I turn that up, we get a little more popping and scratching, okay? Turn that down. Then we got another one for more levels of dust. You can hear that, crackling away in the background, hopefully. And you can really use this to shape the exact type of, noise beds that you want. This is another one for more scratches. This is another one for more dust. And you can hear how they're different from each other. For instance, there was a dust one back here, I believe. No, that's needle. Yeah, here's a dust, and then here's a dust. So a little bit different frequencies that were, accentuating there. Here's another one for more scratches, another one for more dust. You can hear me get really, fizzly and crackly. more dust, and then one for hiss. And here we can go nuts with the hiss, right? Well, I just sort of keep these, down to a relatively low setting. We can kind of adjust these as, as needed. And then there's a little animate feature as well, so that you can sort of get the knobs, not the knobs rather, but the sliders like gently moving around on their own, so that the noise will sort of, evolve a little bit. And that's how we'll have it set today. I've currently got it just running into the TR-8S, and one of the neat things about that is it allows us to side chain the input source off of any sound that we want. And so I've already got it set up so that we can side chain the noise against the kick drum, and we can have either a really subtle noise in the background all the way up to a really extreme sort of sidechain pumping effect on the noise in the background. I'm going to play that for you guys so we can kind of hear the difference there. What I'm going to do is get the noise nice and loud, right? Maybe a little too loud. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to, let's see here. I believe we're going to go to the kit edit. If I'm not mistaken, I might be. We'll find it. Yeah, here we go. External in. This is where I would set what to sidechain it to. But here we get the sidechain depth amount. So I'm going to crank up the noise like way too loud so that we can really hear what I'm doing. And I'm going to turn the sidechain up like way too much so we can really hear that pumping effect come in, so you guys can kind of understand what I'm talking about. We're starting just a little. Here we can hear just the tiniest bit now. Start to making it a little bit of rhythm. This is just the noise layer. And now if I turn that way up, it's just a complete, pumping rhythmic noise against the kick drum. That every time the kick drum hits, it ducks the volume of that noise. So the very first thing that I'm going to ask of you guys in the chat today is how much should we pump this vinyl noise? Should we do a pretty extreme pumping mix today? Or should we just tuck that back in the mix? So that it's just, I'm going to bring the level of the vinyl down. Don't worry, it's not going to be like the most vinyl mix ever. We just have to set how we want it to behave. Whether we want it to be kind of that subtle background layer, or whether we want it to be more of a pumping. What do you guys think? More pumping today or less pumping today? Just write more or less in the chat and I'll see sort of what the vibe is. 15 to 20%. All right. Hey, what's happening, Joshua? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, what's up, Travarsi? What's up, Connor? Hey, what's up, Window Licker? I really appreciate you guys hanging out. What's happening, Ted? All right. Yeah, right. What is the subtle of which you speak? All right. Hey, what's happening, Mars? All right. What let's do then is I'm getting some requests for subtle. Let's tuck it back in the mix so that it's not an extremely pumping sound, but that it just sort of rides in the background and ducks very gently out of the way of the kick drum, so the kick drum punches through the mix. Yeah, just a tiny little bit of pumping on that I think is really nice. I can bring this back in the mix as well so that it's just a really subtle background layer of sort of, noise that's going on in the background. I'm going to animate these as well so that it just starts sort of moving those sliders around really gently for us. Yeah, cool. So what we've got here, this is really important, I think, with Dub Techno, is that we've got those sort of layers and we're sort of building our own acoustic space using the reverb that, again, I can assign to any track we want in the mixer, and using that sort of vinyl noise that's just going on in the background. What I'd like to do is go ahead and drop some dub chords onto this, Definitely got to have that. And I think we're going to use the Novation, which camera am I on? Cool. I think we're going to use the Novation KS rack to get these sounds out of. Cool. So this will be my main volume today right here. There's a link in the description of this video for any of you who maybe want to check out this mixer a little more. I'm really stoked on it. For $100, this is absolutely a great value for the money for like an entry-level mixer, or if you just need something, to route your gear into and then feed that out to the speakers. Again, it's not for recording. It's not for like USB connecting to your computer. It's just a really simple and easy to use entry-level mixer. All right. Let's see here. So yeah, dub chords from the KS Rack. I think we're gonna write today in the key of F minor, just to keep things super easy for me. F minor is my favorite key to write in. Okay, so what I want to do is this sound has some variation already programmed into it. I'm just playing a preset from the Novation KS Rack. It's my favorite pad sound in this. In fact, if it was pretty much only this sound in that box, I would still be happy. I like the sound that much. It's called Get Me to Heaven, and it's just a pad sound. I really like using it for dub techno. It sounds like this. Just kind of like a ninth chord, if that makes any sense. Really beautiful pad sound. And it has some filter movement built into the modulation wheel here. So I can kind of open that up. Here the filter opens a little bit more when I roll the mod wheel up than it is at the bottom. It's kind of tucked back a little more at the bottom. What we can do using the MK3 here, turn that vinyl noise down while I'm just chatting, is I can go into the part that I want to put this on, and I can tell it that I'd like it to be an 8-bar pattern, and then we can go ahead and just play the groove, and I can record this. Now it's going to remember what I do with the mod wheel as well, so I'm going to record that 7 2 3 and 8 2 3, and here we go. Now all the way open, and now closing again, So now we've got a little tiny bit of movement baked in to this very first chord stab because I've recorded a little bit of that filter opening up. I think I'd like to make this a little bit more subtle in the mix though, and sort of tuck it back in the mix a little bit more by default, that filter movement. Let's see here. If I go to tempo, I think I can change the swing on our groove a little bit as well, and maybe give us just a tiny little bit more swing. All right. Hey, what's happening? Original synth. All right. Hey, Rustic. Hey, we got Asdy Fazzy in the chat. Hey, we got Chillin' with 10 Mil in the chat. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate you being here. We bring this vinyl noise back up in the mix, right? All right, I'm gonna keep that going in the background for our textures and layers. Yeah, I want that vinyl noise in. So really, we've got ourselves, 4 on the floor kick. We've got some, vinyl noise and texture. We've got some, open hat to give that offbeat. And we've got these dub chords. I mean, it's pretty much, that's the basis of dub techno. Just that simple, All right. We've also got the Virus Dark Star connected today. It's all MIDI'd up and routed into the system. The Virus Dark Star is currently being routed through the Erica Synths Acid Box 3 filter, so we can get some control over its frequency content if we get it in the mix. And I think we should definitely try to get it in the mix. So, let's see here. switch cameras. All right. Virus. All right. So, we should be having control over the filter of this sound with the cutoff of the Acid Box 3. Yeah. I also think, I really think that having, specific control over frequencies with like filters and whatnot to shape these sounds is really, I'm going to say the number one thing in dub techno, but I think maybe the textures and layers are maybe the most important number one thing in dub techno. But having control over some of these frequencies so we can kind of sculpt these sections of the sound, I think is probably like the second most important thing in dub techno, if you get my drift. I'm going to go ahead and bring the cutoff on our second sound up just a little bit there, kind of figure out what I want to do with it. Okay, let's see here. I want to make sure that this is an 8-bar part as well that I'm recording into here. And we're just going to go ahead and press play and record. I'm going to let it go through the 8-bar cycle because I don't have a count in set up. And we'll just record something in. I think it's just going to be a really simple downbeat kind of thing. I missed my count here. 1, 2, 3, and 2. 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, 2, 3, and 8. Let's just put it on the downbeat. Now you may notice that I didn't do any movement on the mod wheel as we were putting this chord in, but there's still a little bit of movement on the sound itself. That's because there's an LFO built into the sound that's moving the filter inside of the virus for us. And I can use the Acid Box 3 filter to tuck this sound back in the mix now quite a bit if we want to. Listen to what happens as I start tucking that new chord back into the mix. On the downbeat. Hear how it's just kind of a low texture down there and it almost sort of matches the first chord a little bit better. Just super chilled. And through the session, that's, one of the things that we'll do is raise the filter up on that chord stab. So we get these, big chords that come through every now and again. We can even use, let's see here, we can even use the built-in like LFO and envelope follower on this filter to do a little bit more movement on this filter automatically per se. Okay, so there's a little bit of movement there. This is going to be just gently moving the filter without me having to do anything at all based on this envelope follower and modulation level. So we just get a little bit more, sort of pizzazz to that chord. And I can still move the filter cutoff, and it's still kind of affecting that accordingly. And that's how we can kind of go in and out of different textures by changing the cutoff on the filter or the amount of modulation happening to that. I really, really love the Acid Box 3 filter. Not only does it sound great, but it's a stereo filter as well. And most of the filters that I've encountered in the last year or so have been mono filters. So stereo plus one for stereo if you get my drift. All right. Hey, what's happening, Kenny? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, right on. There's something to be said, but with what Window Licker just said. He's sticking with what comes naturally to him. Right on. I like that. Absolutely. So we've got a really, really basic, kind of textbook almost, sort of dub techno groove happening here. And what I think, we've got the KS rack also getting some extra reverb here from the black hole reverb pedal. I think I'm going to try to give it even just a little bit more as well. Yeah. I'm also going to turn my headphones up just a little bit and check the volume that I'm sending out to the stream. Seems like it might be just a tiny bit low, so I'm going to boost that up the tiniest little bit level-wise. Let me know if I start distorting anyone's phone. All right. I think before we deal with any like bass today, I'd like to work on the rhythm a tiny little bit more. I was a sort of a drummer first and foremost, so my music typically has a lot of like rhythmic elements in it. And what I think might be nice is if we can maybe put some sort of like a 909 ride cymbal in maybe. Let's change the cameras here. And let's see about that. Bass drum, snare drum, tom, rim shot, hand clap. Here we go. And just need to find like a 909 ride or something. And let's see. Shift. Instrument. Cool. So I can adjust the volume on that. Right on. Let's see. We want to be here. I just absolutely love the texture of a 909 ride cymbal in dub techno. It's just magic to my ears, you know. Just getting that tucked back in the mix a little bit there. And what we're gonna do, I think, is just put in like a really simple, just a 1-bar pattern on the drums so far. Cool. Let's see here. Bringing that back in the mix a little bit more. Playing with the tuning of it to see if I can maybe get it to seat into our groove a little bit better than at its default pitch. At about -11, I think that sounds pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it back in the mix a little more, I think, still. And maybe pan it also. Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe pan it just a tiny little bit to the right, maybe like 10 to the right, to give it its own space in the acoustic, in the acoustic space here. And maybe we'll do the same for that rim shot. Maybe we'll pan that rim shot a little bit to the left to kind of spread it out from the ride a little bit. Cool. Let's go ahead and save this drum kit as well now that we've made a few more changes. Is that ride cymbal loud enough? What do you guys think? Is it too loud? Can you hear that ride cymbal coming in? What do you think? Ooh, are we talking about... Okay, hold the phone. Yeah, are we gonna... Oh, I didn't even have the volume up this whole time. That's why it went down on the stream, because of this. Oh, no wonder. Let me turn this down then. It's called game staging, Dean. Look it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. Let me turn this down real quick. And let's just take a quick moment to talk about that Roland SP404 MK2, shall we? Because my goodness, does it look sexy. I don't have any of the other SP404s in here. I don't have any history with those machines. But boy, as a sample-based workflow guy, I'm really excited for the SB404 MK2, you guys. Really, really excited. Did anybody pre-order that in the chat? I think it's going to be shipping like late November, maybe. Looks really, really cool and powerful. Do we have the ride cymbal too loud? What do you guys think about the level of the ride? On the headphones, it sounds like maybe it's a little too loud. Yeah, thanks, Connor. I appreciate that. All right. Thanks, guys. Oh, is that a yes, Rustic? You pre-ordered it? And I just think that the price on that is really, really good for what it looks like it's going to be able to do. Okay, cool. So we've got a few parts that I can bring in and out here. Let me save. I want to save this kit. Cool. All right. We've got chords, we've got some drums, we've got our texture happening. Now it's definitely time for some bass. And what we're going to do today to get the bass is we're going to use the Roland MC707. Now, this is actually the main reason that I purchased the MC707 was just to have something that I could use with other sequencers like the Digitakt or the SLMK3 and literally just have like 8 synthesizers in one box. It's that simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll through some bass presets and try to find something that I can use for like a low, rich sub bass to get sort of, you know, the low frequencies nailed down in our groove here. So all I need to do to make that happen is make sure that I'm on the right MIDI channel here. And I believe we are. Yeah. So I've got control over the very first sound in the MC707 now. And so we can, let's see here, scroll for what type of sound we'd like to find, which is going to be a bass. So if I go down to the synth basses, and we start checking some out. I often tend to like overplay my bass lines and try to make things like really groovy. But for Dub Techno, we kind of want to keep things minimal, and that typically presents a challenge for me. So I'm trying to sort of not overplay like a, you know, funky bass groove, but just maybe something really mellow that just kind of slots in between the kick drums. Overplayed it on itself there. I feel like, yeah, it's just not quite right. So maybe we can scroll through some other sounds now that I've got a little bit of a bass pattern in there. Ooh, the old school Electribe ES1 definitely counts, Window Licker. Absolutely. I'm trying to hear this bass solo without the drums, just so that I can get a better, a better vision of what I'm actually, selecting for the bass per se. Hold on, though. Yeah, down low, that's really nice. So what if I clear this out and bring the drums back in? Okay, this bass is much better. 3 and boom. I'm trying to decide if I'm happy with that bass line. It's really, yeah, I think we're gonna go with that. And what I think I'm gonna do is, let's see, we're gonna wanna, oh, come on. I think we're just gonna bring this down in the mix a little, so it's not so much bass. And do I have, cool, we have control over the filter, awesome. There we go. Now I'm okay, let's talk about this, what I'm doing exactly. I'm removing some of the high frequency content now from this bass and just tucking it way back into sub territory. We don't want there to be like really like high frequency content coming through in the bass per se, because that's gonna like start to tangle with those chord stabs and whatnot. So if I can roll off some of the high frequency content using the built-in filter of the MC707, all that much better. Get our vinyl going again. I still think that it might be a little bit too loud. It's hard to deal with sub-frequencies on the headphones. I have a little visualizer to the side. For those of you who aren't familiar with my live streams, I have an instance of Ableton that I keep open here so that I can get a visual on the frequencies as we're building these each week when I'm working on the headphones. So I'm just trying to kind of keep an eye on that and make sure that I'm not pushing too much, sub-frequencies in this new bass sound. I think it might be just a little bit too loud still, because that is some really low frequency content there. So I really just want to tuck it back in the mix so that it just keeps the groove kind of plodding along, but that you're not necessarily hearing like some big funky bass line. You know what I mean? What do you guys think in the chat? How are we doing here? Is anyone listening on something that's not a phone? Because you're probably not going to hear that bass on a phone, is what I'm insinuating there. All right. But this is starting to sound pretty cool. We can bring in some other sounds in and out. If anybody has any critique on any of the levels in the mix, just let me know in the chat. Ride up or ride down or rim shot up or something like that if you feel that we need to make some adjustments. I definitely want to keep these sessions collaborative, All right. The sub bass is coming from the Roland MC707. It's just a preset inside of the box, and the preset is called. This is like LFO square bass, just a really simple bass preset. So the reason that I wanted to use the MC707 today is we can get more than just one sound out of it. We can get quite a few different sounds out of it. Maybe we'll add like another pad type of sound from the MC707 in a moment. Maybe before we do that, we'll add another drum sound. Let me check in with the chat real fast. I have this overhead camera stand like literally right in my way to see the computer screen today. Sorry, everybody. You sure did, 10 mil. What you're hearing in that static is this right here. It should be coming through really loud right now. This is a preset in an iPad app here. The app is called My Noises, and the preset is just a dust and scratches preset. So it's getting, it's got like 10 different sliders that allow us to adjust like different levels of dust and noise that are coming through. And a really big like element of dub techno is sort of to have that sort of layer of noise coming through in the background. So all of that clicking and popping and grinding and stuff, that's purposeful today, specifically for this type of genre, to help it sound a little bit more dated and to help it sound like, you know, we used real gear to make it per se. In fact, that's, I'm talking not to a camera. In fact, that's one of the things that I see people talking about quite often, is that in the new school of like dub techno producers or whatever, a lot of the old school dub techno producers, you know, complain that, you know, there's no soul, there's no texture, there's no style, because people are using, you know, Ableton or whatnot, so you don't necessarily get like that grit or texture you would from using some of the vintage gear, like that Roland vintage Space Echo and stuff like that, or like old Spring reverbs specifically, or maybe even just cheap, you know, crappy gear that people had when they were making this stuff. So a lot of these dub techno recordings have lots of strange, like, you know, textured noise. That's really a big part of the genre, I think. Cool. And I think that's kind of one of the things that draws me to it personally also, is that sort of like that textured lo-fi feel, but then some of these sounds are just so clean over the top of it, like that 909 ride cymbal that I was talking about, you know, my love of earlier. You get that clean, you know, ride cymbal with just over this sort of, it just really does it for me, if you get my drift. By moving the filter a little bit on the acid box, you know, we can bring out the chords like that, or tuck it back further. All right, let's bring in another drum sound, shall we? Let's bring in like, maybe like an open hi-hat sound would be cool, because we just have this closed hi-hat sound right now. Let's go ahead and, let's see here. I want to put a sound on this, and I want it to be an open hat. So let's find one, maybe like a 909 open hat. Let's see, I want to be... Why am I not hearing that? There it is. Oh, because I changed octaves. That's for the bass. That makes a lot of sense. I was confused because my drums were down here on this octave a minute ago, but now they're up here. It's because I changed the octave for the bass line, so my drums shifted as well. No big deal. I could shift that back if I wanted, or play it here. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so there's that vinyl noise coming through in the background. Let's see here. I'm going to go to the steps here. Just something really simple. Bring this way down in the mix now, and yeah, we'll tighten up the decay of that. And let's see, what I really want to do is bring it down in volume. So maybe pan it a little bit to, I don't know, maybe a little bit to the right. Cool. There it is, gain. All right. just listening to the sound of that open hi-hat against these other percussions. I'm going to put quite a bit more reverb on the rim shot sound. It's kind of tucked back in the mix now. Okay, so we've got our bass. That's sounding good, I think. All right. Let me check in with the chat real quick here. Hey, what's happening, Music 95? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we got JC in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, man. Check out Moritz von Oswald interview. Hey, thanks. I will check that out. Can't hear any bass. Yeah, on the phone. Yeah, for sure. That bass is way too deep for the phone. Okay, let's see about getting another melodic sound out of the MC707. Maybe like a higher, pitched pad type of thing. Let's see, this is going to be on, I believe, this track here, which we'll need to just set the MIDI channel to 2. Cool, now I've got playing the second sound out of, potential 8 sounds we could play out of the MC707. And what we want to do maybe is just look for a synth pad preset. Oh, shut the front door. This is called wafting organ. Turn that vinyl noise down. But listen to this sound. It's got a built-in, really awesome rhythm that I think is going really well with our Dub Techno groove. We'll be able to sort of bring this in and out as needed. Yeah, I like that. Let's put that in. Just holding down a pad, really simple. Let's make this an 8-bar part here. 1, 2, 3, and 2. And 3, 2. I don't have a count in, so we just go through the pattern. And 5, and 6, and 7, 2, 3, and 8. We'll put it in now. Whoops, I put it in wrong though. So we'll do it again. Okay, and 6, and 7. Let's not hit the wrong notes this time. 2, 3, and... All right. I should be able to see if I... Did that not? Cool. Should be able to filter that sound down now, right? If we want to. Absolutely. Why am I not hearing that? Oh, I see, because it, okay, no worries. Let's explain that. The reason that the MK3 here, the SL MK3 is holding down that chord for only a little bit of time and not playing it like the entire 8 bars. I believe there's a gate time, like limit of maybe, maybe it's like a 2 bar, some sort of a feedback happening on that new sound as well there. But I think that I might be able to just make it a 2-bar repeating pattern. Let's find out. Whoa. No, we've got some sort of a, okay, we're going to pass on that new sound. It seems like there's some sort of a feedback happening in that new pad sound. Well, that's a bummer. So let's just find a different one. Why am I getting all this feed? What is this? Well, I don't understand why I'm getting that. It's like a feedback loop or something, but I'm not getting that with any of the other sounds. And I've changed the preset here. That's really odd. Let me see about if it's doing any sort of weird feedback on the other track here. This should be 3 now. Not sure why we're getting this weird feedback. That's really odd. Because, like I said, we're not getting it on the other. Well, okay. Let's see here. MIDI 2. If I make this MIDI 3 instead. Ooh, boy, sorry about all that extra nonsense with the sound, you guys. I'm really sorry about that. Not sure what that's about exactly. Can I switch back to this on? And will it create that feedback thing is what I'm trying to find out. I'm not sure what's happening with track 2. Let me try to clear that track out entirely. Delete. Delete track. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All right, so we've got that weird feedback problem gone there. And I can now put this in on track 3 instead. Cool. Oh, it's already in on track 3 because I've set, okay, fantastic. And there should be no issues with feedback this time, hopefully. I'm not sure what that was about. That was really weird. All right. I like that pumping pad kind of in the background there. I'm just trying to tuck it back in the mix a little so that it becomes more of a texture that fills in the space between the chord stabs rather than just being, you know, a wall of sound and trying to compete with those chord stabs. Hope that makes any sense at all. All right. Yeah. Check in with the chat real fast here. Hey, thanks, iOS musician. I appreciate that. Yeah, Gremlins, no doubt, right? All right. If we play that new sound at a higher octave, it gives us kind of a not as nice of a texture, really. But I like the idea, though, of maybe trying to get in some higher frequency content still, for sure. And maybe we could try, I have a few samples that are loaded into the TR-8S, and I believe some of those might maybe be chord stabs in the key of F minor, maybe, and that would be awesome if we could find like another chord to bounce around off of these sort of two main chords, maybe. I'm not sure exactly if I've got something in here that would work for that, but we've got some extra pads for sure. So let's see what we can come up with. Let's see, on the instrument, if I go backwards, right? Yeah, cool. Do I, or do I not have any chords? No, I don't. Oh, wait. No, wait. Yes, we do. Okay, cool. On the tom. So, where would we be? Let's find out. Right, it needs to be on the right MIDI track. Okay, I'm way up now. Okay, here we go, and it's this track here. Cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm seeing if any of the F minor chord samples that I've got in the TR-8S might, slot in with our session. Because F minor is my favorite key to write in, I typically have, F minor chords just loaded into whatever key I'm working with, That one is really, nice right there, but it sort of sounds a lot like the chords we already have in the session. So if we could find a higher frequency one, that might be even better. Let's see. That second one might work, but it certainly isn't adding more high frequency content in, but I really do like the vibe on it. 2, 3. I just think that we need to make this part longer first. So we're going to duplicate our one measure drum part here and turned it into a 4-bar pattern. Yeah, 2, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Cool. I need to bring that, let's see here, way down in the mix though. So let's see if we can do that. Shift instrument, yeah, gain. Unfortunately, it's still more just low frequency content, but I think it slots in pretty well. What I want to do is I want to see if maybe we can get it to come, like I was explaining earlier, I have the rim shot in our session coming out of the external output of the assignable output, rather. There's 3 different assignable outputs on the TR-8S. So I'm using the first one to route our rim shot sound into this microcosm pedal here. And now I'm wondering to give it a little bit more reverb and texture. So I'm wondering if we could route our new chord sample out of that same output and then through the microcosm pedal as well. Let's try that. Also, let me pan our new chord just the tiniest little bit to the left. Maybe like 10 to the left. Just trying to find where I assign the output to. I don't see it just yet, so hold on. What am I doing wrong there? Output. I want the output of the low tom. There we go. And I want to route that out of, let's see, assign A. Ooh, nice. Okay, just trying to hear it in the mix and see what I need to do with it here. I need to bring it up in the in volume just a little bit now. Yeah, come on now. Almost. Too loud, but getting there. We're balancing 3 different chord staffs now to get more and more of just that evolving texture happening in the background. All right, let me check in with the chat real fast, see how we're doing. Been going, what, just over an hour? All right, we got so much done already. Drums are more carrier for the listener in Dub Techno. Yeah. To push the drums back and concentrate on the hugeness of the other sounds. I like that. Right on. Let's do that. Let's try to make the other sounds just that much bigger. Giving a little bit more reverb to some of the sounds and pulling pulling a little bit of the low frequencies off some of the sounds that have that extreme reverb so that it doesn't create like a big muddy wash, but just, you know, hopefully a gorgeous wash of reverb. Where's that second chord? Oh, it's this one here. That rim shot might be too loud. Is that rim shot too loud? What do you think, guys? Rim shot. That sound. Maybe it's alright. Hard to tell on headphones sometimes. Well, let's see. So we've got the bass line coming out of the MC707. Got the pad coming out of the MC707. I have a few extra tracks here that we can still use to sequence some stuff with, though. Let's see. I'm gonna put a tone track on the 4th track of the MC707. And let's see here. Maybe look for some type of lead sound that I could mess around with on the keyboard over the top of this groove. Typically isn't a lot of synth solos in Dub Techno, but we're just messing around today. Might be fun. Go to the synth lead category and see if anything sort of jumps out at us, shall we? Not bad. Not really something that lends itself to the groove, I don't think. Yeah, it's not really the type of mood that we're looking for with Dub Techno. I just like to always try, see if maybe something will slot in. Anyhow, yeah, I don't think a lead synth is necessarily something that we need to add. But then I sort of feel like we have all of the elements, here that we need, and we haven't been streaming very long. It's going to be a pretty short stream if I can't think of something else to do to this groove. Anybody got any suggestions? Kind of have all of the elements that we need for Dub Techno. I'm just kind of dubbing it. Muting. Oh, because I'm hitting the wrong track? Okay. All right. Cool. I think we have some really neat textures today. Absolutely. Get jiggy with the effects and the arrangement. Keep it simple. Yeah, right, yeah. More variation in the bars. Yes, Michael. Both the MC707 and the TR8S are being sequenced from the SL-MK3 today. This is our main sequencer, so I can mute any of the tracks if I want directly from the sequencer. Here we have all of the tracks muted, and I can just start bringing things in one at a time. Here's the kick drum. Channel 2 is our tops, so it's like hi-hats and shakers and rides, clap and whatnot, if I bring those in. Then we have a little bit of a bass line here on track 3. We have some chord stabs on track 4 and some more chord stabs on the other channels. And so yeah, we're just using just one pattern here. So we could save what we've got in the SLMK3, and we could maybe copy this, duplicate to another session here. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Let's do this correctly then. Let's save it to a new section. Boom, cool. So let's see here. If we were gonna make some arrangement tweaks maybe with the patterns. We could be in our first session here, and maybe we could get rid of some things so that we have a more evolving kind of groove. Let's see. That's our bass. I want to keep that one. And these are our main chords. Let's get rid of these in this one. And let me get rid of also that's coming from the Roland, right? Okay, so if I want to get rid of the extra chords in this, it's going to be here in these steps. Cool, I can do it that way too. That's fine. Let's go duplicate and duplicate, right? And then make it 4 again. Okay, cool. Now I can make a variation of the kick drum. All right, let's go into these options here and change the velocity on this one here. I'm not sure if that's having a big effect on the sound. Oh, I'm doing it on the wrong note though, the wrong step rather, that's why. There we go. And we can maybe bring chance up on this as well so it doesn't happen every time. Cool, and let's save. And maybe actually also we can go into the tops here and minimize this a bit, yeah. Quite a bit actually. Okay, cool. Just taking some of these parts out to get a little bit more of an arrangement here. Oh, I see. I see what the deal is. Seem to be on one pattern here. Yeah. Get rid of that other clap. Yeah. And the extra rim shot, which is what here? Here. All right, cool. So we sort of have like an intro part here then. All right. Let me save this one. So I can go back and forth then between these two sessions in 1, 2, 3, and Yeah, cool. But what let's do is maybe get rid of the ride cymbal, which is just really kind of banging away here. If we go to the steps, so we can have more of a, you know, focus on the actual chords themselves. Yeah, let's save here. This is an awesome kind of like an intro pattern. And hey, what's happening, Vortex? Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Ooh, a low pulsating mid-range 303. Yeah, I do like that idea, as a matter of fact. And I really like that. What we could do, turn the volume down just a touch here. Maybe what we could do would be to go into our sessions and to, let's see, let's save this one here into the third slot. So, actually, yeah, that's cool. So we have one kind of like an intro, and then our second session here is kind of like the full meat and potatoes. And then we now have this third session, which sort of drops out some of those other parts and maybe gives us room to add something else. So what we could do would be to, number one, add the kickback to this particular. All right. And maybe we could get rid of the open hats here. So we have just a little bit more of a variation. Let's save here as well. And let's see if there's, you know, if maybe we could slot in like a 303 type of a sound. Let's see, if you on this track? Yeah, okay. Let's take a look here. I'm not exactly sure where we would find this, but I'm guessing it's going to be under the synth leads in the MC707 that we might find some like TB type of stuff. That's close to the 303 type of sound that we want, but it's not quite the 303 sound we're looking for. So I'm wondering if maybe I should like punch in kind of some sort of an example part, and then we could scroll through some different presets maybe. Also, it might be better if we did like a full 16th note thing. Is that a thing? Well, this isn't a 303, but I like the tone on this one. No, still not quite the right sound, but we're getting closer, I think. Not quite right either. Come on, 303 leads. You guys can probably tell that I don't have a whole lot of time invested like in the MC707 yet. to where like I know where like my favorite sounds are and stuff like that. I don't have any sort of muscle memory with this box, or like knowledge of like my favorite sounds out of like the 1,500 sounds in here or whatever. So we're just kind of scrolling. Boy, a lot of attack on that. Maybe a little, calling that, attack lead. I like that clicky on it, but maybe it's too much. Sort of, but just not quite right. Yeah, me too, iOS musician. 300 baud dial-up. Oh my gosh. Forget about it. Okay, Surfing JoJo with a tip here. All right, we got it. What we got here? Under synth bass C, 83 to 106. Thank you very much, Surfing JoJo. Synth bass C. Let's find out. Bank C. Oh, we're into some better stuff already. But he was saying specifically 83. Thanks a lot. Let's go down there. Oh yeah, forget about it. Now we're into where we want to be. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate the help. Like when I'm struggling on these live streams and just scrolling endlessly through patches, you know that can get tedious. So sorry, everyone. Now we can maybe find like a more 303 type of sound that will slot in with what we're creating here. Maybe I need less swing. The frequency that we're in is sort of conflicting like with our low frequency content already. I don't think we want to go up an octave though. Oh my gosh, Spider Ice Midas with the Quake Online over dial-up. You're speaking my language, you guys, absolutely. I'm 49 years old today, everyone, 49. I remember all of that stuff. I remember playing like Doom 1 on DOS PCs. I remember playing Doom 1 on PlayStation 1 back in like 1994. Kind of like this sound. I'm trying to think of like, it's really, really close, but there's something not quite right still. And I think what it might be is this, that the levels of the volume of this new kind of like lead are just so consistent. So, save. And what I think I want to do is to go into this pattern here, go into the individual steps of our pattern, and mess with the velocity of these steps. Yeah, cool. And what I'm going to do, I think, is basically try to bring down the velocity of our steps that happen when the kick drum happens, and try to create sort of a little bit of like rhythm, of like velocity variation here. Hear this on my monitor speakers real fast. I've got some monitors over here. If I turn the volume up on those, I can hear it in the room. Let me just check that. Okay, that might be a little bit better. It's hard to mix sometimes when I'm trying to do these live streams like super quick. All right. Basically what I need is I need less low frequency content on this new lead sound. So we want to do a little bit of EQ on that if we can inside of the box itself. And fantastic. getting rid of some of the low frequency content on that new sound so that it's not sort of conflicting with our low frequency basses and chords, and rather it's more sitting on the top of those. And I think we want to do a little bit of adjustment on the velocities still. Let's make these first two 60. I'm not sure that the sound is velocity sensitive is the thing. Doesn't sound like it is, to be honest with you. And I'm not exactly sure how to set that in the box super quick, so we're just not going to worry about that, I guess. Okay. So do we have anything muted? We don't, right? Okay. So I should be able to go back and forth between our sessions and hear all the sounds. Oh, one more thing. Cool, cool, cool. I forgot. I can't believe I forgot. I've got the Digitakt over here, and I've got it set to play an impact crash symbol, like noise crash, like every 16 bars. And then I've got it set to do kind of a little riser every 16 bars as well, to sort of keep us on a really consistent grid. I had that all set up, and then for some reason I forgot to turn the volume up once we started the session. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I turn the volume up on the Digitakt, and then I press play here, yeah, we're still getting that vinyl noise coming through. I'm gonna, press play, and it's gonna go now. And then at the end of 16 bars, it's gonna be like, and then so every 16 bars, it's gonna kind of help us ebb and flow with that riser built in. Hear that that we get now? Awesome, that's what I'm talking about. And 1, 2, 3, here we go. And we should hear that riser coming in just a minute. 2, 3, and... Okay, so basically we've given ourselves just a little tiny bit of like grid glue with that riser and impact there. Then we sort of go off into this other direction now. I really like the way this sounds right here. Good suggestion to add that 303 and helping. And thanks for helping me get to the 303s, Surfin' Jojo. Let's go ahead and take a moment and save this project now that we've got like 3 different sounds. Whoops. No. Stop. I'm trying to save it, and it thinks I'm trying to load something. That's not what I want to do. I want to write this project. Here we go. And write. Enter. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Cool. So we'll get that saved. All right, fantastic. And this is saved. And let me just write this drum kit as well, now that we've made a couple more changes there. Okay, fantastic. I want to work on the sort of the transitions between these 3 patterns. I think I want to go ahead and I think I want to copy or duplicate rather, this pattern into the one next to it. So we just go save and then put that in the one next to it. Now these 2 are exactly the same. That's not what I wanted to do. Rather, though, I want to get this second one extended per se. So if I select that one and then I save into that third one, now we've got kind of our intro. We've got two patterns that are sort of the meat of what we created. And then this fourth pattern here starts us off in the 303 direction. This is just going to help us get it a little bit more smooth. For instance, what I want to do is I want to get rid of some elements in this second section, so it's not just like it drops into everything right away. So if we go into the individual steps here, on the tops track rather, yeah, I want to get rid of the rim shot in this second pattern. I see it's, what have we got, like multiple, yeah, okay. Cool. There it is. I also want to get rid of, is it this? Yeah, it's the ride symbol. I also want to get rid of the ride symbol so that it doesn't introduce everything all at once. I'm not sure what that's about, but we seem to be getting some weird feedback there. Just get this ride out of here for now. We'll worry about the feedback in a minute. Cool, let me save this one. So now we sort of have, actually let's get rid of the hand clap here as well. Whoops. So yeah, much more of an introductory pattern now. We're not necessarily giving the listener like all of the goods right at the jump. Cool, let's save there. And now when I go into the next pattern, it still, you know, expands the mix that much further. Although, let's see here, although we currently have all three chord stabs going in this first section, and what in the... So it's basically what I was getting there was some, all that stuff was some feedback happening with the microcosm pedal there. No worries. And let's see. Okay, so, right. If we could get rid of one more chord stab here, that would be fantastic. So in the, let's see, in the patterns, in the virus, maybe we don't introduce the virus just yet. Let's go ahead and clear these out and save. Fantastic. Cool. Sessions. Cool. Now what we've got is we've got our intro session, and then we've got, you know, we bring in the drums, and then on the third section, we bring in more of the drums and the virus chord. Let me just make sure that the virus is gone from the very, very beginning one as well then, so that we're bringing that in on pattern 3 instead of pattern 1. And let's just double check that. Save. But now our other chords are gone completely. That's weird. Oh, I see the pumping is there too. I want to get rid of that one. Bear with me as we just mess around with the arrangement here. Is it, let's see, is it, it's this one. So I just want to clear these out on this pattern here. Yeah, we don't want to introduce that just yet. 2, 3, and then we bring all that in. Yeah, and the extra chord. Okay, good deal. So what let's do is let's try this from the very beginning on the very first section here. And I'm going to let the build up from the Digitakt over here kind of, come into play, and then we'll switch patterns, and hopefully, as we switch patterns, we'll be hearing the build up to the switch and then the impact on the switch, if that makes any sense. Oh, right, no chord here though, which we definitely need to get back. What have I, So basically, on the first one, oh, that's loud. Why is it so loud? There's definitely some sort of an anomaly with like when you're playing the parts in by hand, and then when you're recording them back with the way that it deals with the velocity. Okay, but that's saved now, and we've got that chord in the very first thing. I'm not sure how I got rid of that, but it is what it is. We'll bring the vinyl back up, and let's go ahead and try this from the beginning again. Hey, thanks, Spider. I see. Is it double that then? I would want these to be half the length, I guess. 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and here comes that riser. Yeah, so I definitely want the riser to happen more often than it is happening. So let's see if we can make that happen. Oops, I meant 2 out of 2, not 2 out of 4. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, 2 out of 2. And then we would also make that crash then. We would also make that 1 out of 2, I believe. Yeah. Okay. We hear the riser here. Yeah. All right, then we get going there. Yeah, that transition is terrible. And then we just jet off into a different vibe. Yeah, I'm really not happy with the way that that sounds at all. Oh, boy. Right, because maybe what it needs is like a pause. Ugh, I don't like the way that that sounds at all. This is the, you know, the, I don't know what the word is I'm saying. The danger of writing live, you know, is I just never know how it's going to go. I'm not happy with the way that this is coming together at all. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, not vibing the flow of this at all right now. Not sure whether I want to get rid of the new sound. Let's see, we've been going for almost 2 hours. Really sort of like not vibing the vibe per se. Let me check in with the chat, see how everybody's doing. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. No struggle today trying to get this to flow. Cranking that vinyl noise. Sorry, everybody. Cool. I'm not vibing this right now. Having an issue with the reverb as well. And unfortunately, I'm not really sure what that is the thing. It's just you, hologram pedal. If I turn the hologram pedal, my issue with the reverb goes away. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not, you know, there's only so many hours in the day. I'm not an expert at this box already. I can't, you know, sit here and be like, oh, I know exactly what that is. I keep turning the mix level down, but the amount of reverb isn't turning down any, so I don't really know what to say there. But we're, oh, I see. It's on a different one entirely than it was on. That doesn't make any sense because I did not change that during the session today. Maybe that will be a little bit better for us though. Let's find out about when I bring in the rim shot again. See if we start getting a weird build up here. It must be a MIDI situation that is changing the preset on the Microcosm because it just changed presets again to that other preset for some reason. So I must have somehow gotten something recorded that is causing a program change inside of the Microcosm. I can't really understand how that would have happened, but it is the thing. But I have it, you know, MIDI'd up to the gear so that it stays in time. But now it's doing this weird thing. So for instance, like if I change the preset back, right, and choose that, and it's got that loaded or whatever, and then I, you know, press play over here and stuff. It seems to be sticking. Gonna have to keep a big eye on that now. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's these, it's just not working for me. Is this my bass? Where's my bass? I feel like I've lost my bass now as well. I feel like this session has gone a little bit sideways, if you get my drift. Yeah, the bass seems to drop. I've got some anomalies along the way, and now the reverb is back to that other preset again and being weird. So again, there's something for sure that I've done that's, you know, causing the preset to change in the hologram. That's cool. No worries. I don't want to like super sweat that kind of stuff. You know, it is my birthday and all, so I don't want to get too uptight about this going like super sideways. Is the thing, because we're just having fun today. But we've only been going for a couple of hours. I wonder if maybe we want to maybe take a left turn and get the modular out. No, I don't probably want to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're probably going to just wrap it up early today because I'm having a lot of anomalies along the way, and I don't really want to struggle and try to fix, you know, try to figure out and solve all of these in real time. I think it's just going to make the stream a lot more tedious, if you get my drift. So I think we're probably just going to wrap it up and call it, even though it wasn't like the most awesome, you know, stream in the history of ever today. I kind of feel like I've disappointed myself is the thing, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, shoot. Well, I don't know. Let's see here. Can I scoot this a little bit? Maybe pull this. Maybe pull this. And maybe click this off, right? And then just get this out of the way. And then maybe set this off to the side. Cool. And then maybe unplug this. And maybe put these over here. And pull these out, kind of a thing, maybe. Yeah, right. And get this out of the way. Put this over here. Maybe we could mess around just a little bit with some other kind of techno. Turn some of these things off. All right. Cool. Really wish that Microcosm pedal wasn't having that issue. I'm not really sure what was creating that. That always, you know, is a little bit frustrating. Especially like on these live streams, you know, I want to spend the time creating stuff, not just always, you know, solving issues and whatnot. Let's go ahead and plug this guy in, shall we? Grab the power cord for this. Where is that at? Right here. Okay, cool. All right. And this one is the Is it just that simple? Are we making, do we have sound here? This is not a 303 sound. Yeah, totally, right? Let's see here. Where's that bass line? Don't I have a bass line here? kind of a techno groove in this box right now. Maybe get a little bit more level out to the stream. Let's put something else in this type of a groove then, shall we? Let's see here. Can I switch these? Yeah, we can kind of see. Maybe I can bring this down a little bit. In my way though. Let's see this. No, not really. I probably shouldn't have done this because I'm not really prepared for this either, is the thing. A little bit of a snare in this, shall we? Oh, what, my cables aren't in here? They're in the hall. That's great as well. Ugh. I've got some cables in here. Let's just switch directions on this stream, shall we? Make a little bit of techno with the Eurorack. This camera is right in my face though, literally. I'm trying to work the system and the camera's literally right here. So I'm gonna have to do something about that here. See if I can fix this. mod 3. Cool. Now we just need a way to route that to the mixer. Cool. I'm not gonna, sit here and pretentious it up with the Eurorack. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and stuff. I just wanted to get a little bit more music in on this live stream. I'm not really prepared to take this to some, fantastic place either. I don't know, but I sort of felt weird about crashing and burning with the Dub Techno there. This is probably a mistake to just drag this out as well, but it is what it is, and it's just a casual birthday live stream. So we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. I really appreciate you guys hanging out on these Sunday streams. And yeah, it's definitely going to go sideways sometimes. It is what it is. Just going to make sure that there's no, last minute questions in the chat. And all that kind of stuff like that, and let you guys say goodbye to each other in the chat as well, as I am gonna, go ahead and wrap it up here. Yeah, this mixer is listed in the description. Again, this was like a $99 mixer that I got from Amazon. I was assuming that it would be so noisy and so low quality that maybe I could make a video like, hey guys, don't buy these shitty $99 mixers from Amazon. But it's turned out to be the opposite. It's turned out to be like a really great entry level mixer for just getting everything, going super quickly and easily. It's got one effect send as well, so we're able to like, route a pedal into it and then send that to anything else in the mix that we want. And yes, there is a link to this in the description if you want to check it out a little bit more. Cool. Yeah, fantastic. All right. So, until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of each other. We'll see you next week. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing, um, like at all at this point, but I'm sure it'll be something music related, and hopefully we won't have a repeat of the sort of crash and burn that we had on this session. But it is what it is, and that's bound to happen on the live stream. All right, cool deal. Take care of each other, everyone. Until next time. Which one is it? This one? Cool. Okay, take care, everyone.